Hello, this is your Executive Director, Angelia, coming to you with part 2 of Who is Your Inner Child class from Healing Families Lives. Since we haven't been able to go to the libraries, and do these things, we're doing them online. So hopefully you get something out of it. And last time we were talking about, our inner child, and how to develop a not codependent self and navigate the real world. So today we're going to talk about our real self. Our inner child is the most important and real self. Our codependent or false self is a different self we created to fit others' view of us. Our real self is the deepest part of us. It is our core self that was designed and created by God. Everyone has one. Our inner child is our most authentic, genuine, and spirited self. Here are some things that you may use to recognize your true self and the self that the world has made you create to get along in it. Real self is authentic, true, genuine, spontaneous, expansive, loving, giving, communicating, accepting of self and others, compassionate, loving, feeling, appropriate anger, assertive, intuitive, plays and has fun, vulnerable, powerful, trusting, nurturing, surrenders, self-indulgent, open to the unconscious, remembers our oneness, grows, and is private. Notice I said love twice. And you can put that in there a third time. Loves. Our public or codependent self is unauthentic, a mask, a persona, ungenuine, planning and plotting, contracting, fearful, withholding, envious, critical, idealized, perfectionist, other-oriented, conforming, conditional love, denies their feelings, inappropriate anger, resentment, aggressive, passive-aggressive, rational, logical, runs parent-child scripts in relationships, avoids fun and play, pretends to always be strong, limited power, distrusting, a little itch here, hopefully that didn't go there, avoids nurturing, controlling, withdrawn, self-righteous, blocks unconscious, forgets oneness, feels separate, repeats unconscious patterns. Our real self wants to be itself. It accepts itself and others. It allows itself to feel. It is expressive. It doesn't judge or fear others. It enjoys and appreciates life's events. Our real self is creative. It is childlike, but with a maturity gained from all of our experiences. It needs to play and have fun to let off steam. It is still vulnerable because it is so open and trusting. It surrenders control to its higher power and enjoys the journey. That that makes it powerful. It likes to nurture and be nurtured. It is open to intuition and our unconscious mind. It interprets our dreams. It helps us during our struggles and tells us to keep ourselves to help ourselves during illnesses. It is free to grow because it is a real being. Our codependent self is limited by the constraints that you believe society holds on you. Or real self is a private self, but we can take it public. Some people are so insecure. They never share their real self, and that is sad. Some fear hurt or rejection so much, they feel safer just wearing a mask. If you keep yourself locked up, never letting anyone else see you, the world is a less bright place. We came from somewhere. I believe a combination of DNA and spirit. Our inner child feels alive. We have hurts, but the inner child is willing to overcome them and move on. Our inner child is the joyous one. They are our anchor. They are the truly alive one. It is who we are when we are born. It is who lives behind our eyes as we travel through life. It is who we are when we leave our bodies. We don't have to do anything to be our true self. It's just there. When you are ready to go in and find it. The key is to let it come out without reprimanding it like others have done. If we deny it or repress it, it will stay hidden. Our false self. Our false self feels uncomfortable, strained, and unauthentic. But most people put it on as soon as they get up in the morning. It is a cover-up, just like makeup. It leads us to be inhibited, contracting, and fearful. It is ego and superego. It plans, then drags its feet in bringing plans to fruition. It is selfish and withholding. It is envious, critical, idealized, blaming, shaming, and a perfectionist. These are not things we were born with. We learned them from somewhere. Our false self wants to be what others want it to be. It is an overconformist. It only loves conditionally. It covers, denies, or hides its feelings. It lies about its feelings. How are you? It's always fine. It hides from itself. It may know how it feels, but it may feel that these feelings are bad or wrong somehow. Usually, because someone in its past told them that these feelings were not okay. So, it hides rather than be appropriately assertive. That's what our real self does. Our false self is not as brave as our real self. When it does show its emotions, it's usually too aggressive or too passive. Our false self is like a critical parent. It avoids playing and having fun. It pretends to be strong and powerful. However, its power is really only minimal or non-existent. In reality, it is very fearful. It is mistrusting and destructive. Our codependent self often needs to withdraw and gain control. This, therefore, sacrifices any possible nurturing or being nurtured. It can never surrender control. It is self-righteous and blocks any information coming from the subconscious. But because it doesn't listen, it doesn't learn and repeats often painful patterns. It forgets our oneness. It feels like a separate being, alone in a sea of faces. Our public self is who others and we expect we should be. We can almost feel when we are doing it. It makes us uncomfortable. It makes us numb. We feel empty or fake. We don't feel real. We don't feel complete. We may not even feel whole or sane. There can be many levels to it. We sense that something is wrong with us. We feel that something is missing. It confuses us. We may feel like this false self is who we should be. Usually, it's the addiction or trauma that we are trying to cover up that made us start this false self and what drives it on. We try so hard to be this false self that we feel guilty when our true self shows up and wants us to do something different. It makes us feel like something is wrong with being who we want to be. It can make us feel like we shouldn't want to feel real or alive. To change this way of thinking can be scary. A false self is universal among humans, but worse than addicts and victims of abuse. It has been studied exhaustively. For some, such as victims of abuse, it started as a survival tool. For those living in insecure environments, it may have started out as a way of organizing itself amid the chaos around it. In mentally and emotionally abused people, it may have started as an ego defense mechanism. It is an impaired and egocentric self. It can be destructive to self. It can be destructive to others, and is definitely destructive to relationships. But at one time, it served a purpose. It came to be because we needed it. But at some point, we realize it's outlived its usefulness and it's actually holding us back. But how can we even begin to change our circumstances? Here's a poem by Charles C. Finn that describes his struggles with false self. Please hear what I'm not saying. Don't be fooled by me. Don't be fooled by the face I wear. For I wear a mask, 1,000 masks. Masks that I'm afraid to take off. And none of them is me. Pretending is an art that's second nature with me. But don't be fooled. I give you the impression that I'm secure. That all is sunny and unruffled with me, within as well as without. That confidence is my name and coolness my game. That the water's calm and I'm in command. And that I need no one. But don't believe me. My surface may seem smooth, but my surface is my mask. Ever varying and ever concealing. Beneath lies no complacence. Beneath lies confusion and fear and aloneness. But I hide this. I don't want anybody to know it. I panic at the thought of my weakness and fear. Being exposed. That's why I frenetically create a mask to hide behind. a nonchalant, sophisticated facade to help me pretend, to shield me from the glance that knows. But such a glance is precisely my salvation, my only hope, and I know it. That is, if it's followed by acceptance, if it's followed by love. It is the only thing that can liberate me from myself, from my own self-built prison walls, from the barriers I so painstakingly erect. It's the only thing that will assure me of what I can't assure myself, that I'm really worth something. But I don't tell you this. I don't dare. I'm afraid to. I'm afraid your glance will not be followed by acceptance, will not be followed by love. I'm afraid you'll think less of me, that you'll laugh. And your laugh would kill me. I'm afraid that deep down I'm nothing, that I am just no good, and that you will see this and reject me. So I play my game, my desperate pretending game, with a facade of assurance without, and a trembling child within. So begins the glittering but empty parade of masks, and my life becomes a front. I idly chatter to you in the suave tones of surface talk. I tell you everything that's really nothing, and nothing of what's everything, of what's crying within me. So when I'm going through my routine, do not be fooled by what I'm saying. Please listen carefully and try to hear what I'm not saying, what I'd like to be able to say, what for survival I need to say, but what I can't say. I don't like to hide. I don't like to play superficial, phony games. I want to stop playing them. I want to be genuine and spontaneous and me. But you've got to help me. You've got to hold out your hand, even when that's the last thing I seem to want. Only you can wipe away from my eyes the blank stare of the breathing dead. Only you can call me into aliveness. Each time you're kind and gentle and encouraging, each time you try to understand because you really care, my heart begins to grow wings. Very small wings. Very feeble wings. But wings. With your power to touch me into feeling, you can breathe life into me. I want you to know that. I want you to know how important you are to me. How you can be a creator, a honest to God creator of the person that is me, if you choose to. You alone can break down the wall behind which I tremble. You alone can remove my mask. You alone can release me from my shadow world of panic and uncertainty, from my lonely prison, if you choose to. Please choose to. Do not pass me by. It will not be easy for you. A long conviction of worthlessness builds strong walls. The nearer you approach to me, the blinder I may strike back. It's irrational, but despite what the books say about man, often I am irrational. I fight against the very thing that I cry out for. But I am told that love is stronger than strong walls. and in this lies my hope. Please try to beat down those walls with firm hands, but with gentle hands, for a child is very sensitive. Who am I? You may wonder. I am someone you know very well, for I am everyone you meet. I am the inner child. Now we're done with that poem. We're moving to Stifling the Child Within. Trying to get my stuff straight here. Our parents do it. Other authority figures do it. The institutions of education, religion, politics, the media, and even professionals do it. They can stifle or deny our inner child. How do we know if we've been affected like this? Why did these people do this to us? Basic human needs. No circumstances are ideal. Some basic needs must be met. However, for our inner child to grow and develop to its highest potential. Got my little dog sitting here, can you tell? I'm itching. There are about 20 needs that seem to be critical for human growth and development. They most all have to do with relationships. If we grew up in an environment without these needs being met, we were affected. We don't even realize that we have these needs and that they haven't been met. But the good news is, oh dear, it's popping up on me here, that we can go back and meet these needs for ourselves and catch up developmentally. Not having our needs met as a child often leaves us feeling confused and chronically unhappy. And we may have no idea why. Surviving, feeling safe and secure. A newborn needs someone around constantly to provide the things it needs. This is our life at its bare minimum. We need to also feel safe and secure to develop properly and have curiosity so that we want to learn and explore. Here are the top needs of a human being. Number 1, to survive, to feel as if you are not in mortal danger. Number 2, to feel safe, to feel that you are protected from things you cannot control. Number 3, touch, skin-to-skin contact, which helps the brain form. Number 4, attention, to feel wanted. Number 5, mirroring and echoing, to encourage learning. Number 6, guidance, to help navigate the world safely. Number 7, listening, to be heard and to understand. Number 8, being real, to be our authentic self and to feel safe around others. Number 9, participating, to feel included and successful. Number 10, acceptance, to know you are important to others, that you are taken seriously, that you are admired, that you are free to be the real you, to know that your feelings are accepted, to feel validated, to feel respected, to feel that you belong and are loved. Number 11, opportunity to grieve losses and grow. To navigate disappointments, learn to let go, learn and be okay with changing and reprioritizing. Number 12, support. To feel that there is a safety net. To feel that someone will always be there for you. To feel like you belong to a group. 13, loyalty and trust. To feel like someone is there for you. To feel like you are supported. To feel like there is a predictable pattern of behavior people exhibit personally. Number 14, accomplishment. For mastery, power, control, creativity, having a sense of completion, making a contribution. Number 15, higher consciousness, transcending. To have faith that a thing will work out or are meant to be. That you have control over your life. To overcome obstacles to achieve your goals. Number 16, sexuality. Of course, this is when you're an adult. To procreate and to share intimacy with a loved one. Number 17, enjoyment and fun. To feel fulfilled with life. To have novel experiences. To release stress. To bond with friends. Number 18, freedom. To feel that your life is one of your own choosing. To be what you want to be. To love who you feel that you do love. And to do the things that are important to you. Number 19, nurturing. To feel that someone cares about your outcome. To do the same for your offspring. And number 20, unconditional love. To feel the love of your higher power. To feel the love of peers. To feel the love of your mate. To feel the love of your children. And that they love you. Touch. Touch is a human need. Infants deprived of touch fail to thrive and grow, even if other physical needs such as food and clothing are met. Skin-to-skin contact helps to wire the brain. Animal studies have proved this again and again. Animals that were tested that did not get physical touch as infants developed heart disease. And that's our bell. So that's all for this lesson. I hope you found this educational and informative. If you would please like, share, and subscribe. And that's all for now. Until next time.